spy as a career. It didn't work out. So, relatively early after my university, I still was a little bit fresh and realized, yes, if I want a proper career, I need to improve my English. So I decided to go 6 months in UK to work and just perfect my English. And what's the best job ever to learn foreign languages? Anyone know?
Meet a girl, have plans.
A job. Engineer is best. You do calculation all day, you do analysis, you don't talk to anyone. So after 2 months, I revised a little bit my target. I said, okay, I need to find a different strategy. Luckily, I was in the town which has the highest concentration of pubs per square meter. Rugby. You can look if you don't know. So I went to the pub. I drank a lot of beers, met a lot of people. My English didn't improve. What worked is I met my wife there. Not an English one, a Polish one. Communication was a little bit difficult at the beginning. So I was calling her sometime, and she told me later on that when I was calling, and she had a friend, she was like, Christophe is calling, please take him, I don't understand what he says on the phone. That was my level. So you can see 20 years later what it brought. Not too bad. Not perfect, but 5 years later, we decided to move out. But actually, I was like a little bit sad because my French pride started to be lifted up by English people I met. It was like, oh, you speak relatively good French, you know? Me, English, I don't speak anything else than English because each time I go on holiday, everyone speaks English. I don't have a chance to practice. I said, yeah, I'm sure you go across the channel, you meet French people, you will learn French very fast. They don't speak a word there. So that was it, but we moved, and we could have moved anywhere. Any English-speaking country, being French-Polish couple, or France, or Poland. No, we decided Switzerland. Not even the French part. There, it would even be easier for my wife, because they speak a little bit slower there. No, we decided the German part. Another challenge. And to add up on this, my wife was 7 months pregnant. So very quickly we were at the hospital, and she was in pain, of course, delivering. And the midwife was telling her, drucken. And she was like, what do they want from me? I'm like, I don't know, maybe push. Try. So that was 14 years ago. Yes, I remember because my daughter is 14. Quite easy, yes. So fast forward, 2 weeks ago, I was at the doctor with 2 of my children. We have 3. But this daughter and my smallest son. And you think at the doctor here, they check the children. They check their development, health. Not exactly. They check the parenting. So first, they speak to you in Swiss while they know exactly that you're foreigner. So you try your best, okay, grazie. You go along until a point, I remember, my wife will ask some questions, so I better understand a little bit. So after 5 minutes, I asked the doctor, can we speak something else, like English, French? He said, oh, no problem, speak English. But still, he switched back and addressed my son and asked him, what do they feed you at home? How many colors is in the food? And I realized that, okay, second check, after the Swiss, they want to know if we feed well our children, if we feed them with healthy food. My son looked at him, was like, he's a little bit weird, this doctor, but he thought a little bit, like at least 30 seconds, and said, sounds 20. I was like, yes! Second point, I passed. And the doctor continued and said, okay, and so here you have a few pictures. Can you tell me what shape is your kaki, Okay. My son really started to be concerned. Was what is they are a little bit funny around here, and the doctor was explaining him, different. What is this and what is this? So I saw my son confusion, and I told the doctor, I'm not sure my son looked, what he does after, but I can tell you exactly what my dog's poo look like. Every day, I know, I can make you a statistic. I can give you also sometimes the colors. Recently, he made quite a funny one. It was after a birthday party, and there was, yes, as my son said, at least 20 colors. All the different balloons which popped up after the party. It was quite soft and very colorful, yes. Sometimes it's a little bit harder because he likes to eat quite a lot of wood. So it helps him when I want to switch on a barbecue. Very good. The doctor looked at me, didn't look convinced, make a few more pounds. We went out of the room with a prescription with some laxative. I didn't understand why. Yes, so that's my Swiss level. And you might ask, okay, what is really, how it works? And I understand those English people, I'm a little bit like that. 14 years, a little bit ashamed, yes, my Swiss is not perfect. But I do my best. I go to social event. I even went into a Swiss hockey team, all Swiss there. And I have some witness that, yes, sometimes I make some mistakes. They have some events, and they talk about mid-glider Versammlung. I'm like, okay. Usually I use Google Translate, but this time I was quite confident. I understood, okay, they want to collect some, the paper and carton to make some money for the club. And I was like, okay, let's do as a group, let's raise the budget. I arrived there, not exactly. Okay, it was in a room like that, a beer factory, and yes, it was a general meeting for the club. Yes, I had fun. I didn't understand much, but at least I drank a lot of beer, and it was very good. So, beer doesn't help so much languages, but at least you meet good people and you have good fun. Thanks a lot.